Let me do the worrying, Zach. It's my job. Yeah. Seal that up real tight. Abby, you better get on the radio. Tell Felicia at the office to get a hold of Oat Sorensen at the university lab.
This is JP 30593.
Hank, you want to hose down those tools for me?
What do you think it is, Cal?
How long you known about this, Zach?
Last spring, just a couple of trees.
You told him?
No, he's been away for 3 weeks.
Today. Why did he have to come back today? Zach, you should have called me a long time ago.
I'm sorry, Cal. I know you've gone way out from me. Way out.
Well, when you got problems...
That's what we're here for, Zach.
What's the difference? I'm finished anyway.
Cal, it could be root rot or drought damage, maybe some chemical deficiency in the soil.
I should have told you, Cal. You're the last person in the world I'd want to hurt.
Oh, that doesn't. Zach, orange crop failure in this county can be a disaster. I mean, what you did not calling me, that's like sending Hank or Ruthie to school with scarlet fever.
It was just a couple of
What Cal means, if Hank or Ruthie is sick, you call a doctor. If the calf is sick, you call a vet. Now, you've always called us before.
Yeah, but even you two can't help me with him.
Hi, Nan. How are you feeling?
Ah, wonderful. If it's this pleasant, I may have half a dozen babies.
Yeah? I just heard Abby on the radio. What's this about diseased trees? How long you know about this?
Eric, why don't you and I talk about it a little later, huh?
How long have you known about this?
Since last spring.
All right, what is it?
I'm not exactly sure.
It's your job to be sure, Cal.
No, it's my job to find out. That's what I'm about to do.
All right, I'm going to quarantine this grove as of now.
On what grounds?
That's my grove, they're my trees.
Leased to Zach.
A blight like this endangers every grower in this county, Abby.
How do you know what kind of blight it is?
All right, now you listen to me, Cal. In my pocket, I have a contract for the co-op. It has taken me months to close this deal. It will affect every orange grower in this county. The engineers will be here this weekend to start work on the freezing plant. Now, if anything happens to this year's crop, if you take any chances...
I'm on my way to the lab right now to try and
You're
find
wasting
out what
time,
this
Cal.
is.
Quarantine the
Tell
grove.
me how to spend my time.
One tree in another grove gets infected, and you can start looking for another county to be agent in.
Well, I guess we sure handled him. Try not to worry too much, Zach. We're going over to the lab now. I'll get in touch with you as soon as we know something.
Sure, Cal.
beautiful.
I know what you mean.
If I didn't know there was a soil sample, I'd swear it was a trichinosis slide.
Trichinosis and nematode, too?
Kills people instead of trees.
Any doubt about it, Oates?
There's always a doubt until it's triple checked with the other tests.
Well, listen, you handle it for me, will you? I gotta get back to town.
Oh, where can I call you?
At the office, I'm afraid. Thanks.
That farmer's liable to lose every tree in his grove. Dr. Sorensen. No, he just left. You can probably catch him in his office in about 10 minutes.
Cal, what's going on at the Laird? There's been a dozen phone calls.
Call those Sorensen and tell them I want him to meet me at the Laird's farm in an hour.
The co-op's up in arms about something.
Hold him off. I'll be back later. That's Eric. He's got him riled up already.
I'll take care of things here.
If you can get to the key people...
I'll talk to them. I'll work through their wives.
Good. I'll go change clothes and see you later. And listen, try to hold off Eric.
With a bulldozer.
Abby?
Yeah.
Abby.
Hi, Ab. I asked where I might find Mrs. Sidney Rayner, and they said, oh, you mean Ab. Just look for the dustiest car in town. At least you kept the Mrs., Ab. You look just great. Just like I left you this morning after kissing you goodbye, and it was 5:30.
It was 3,000 to 3,000 mornings to go, and 3,000 nights.
Sorry, Ab. Sorry. You know who that car belongs to?
If you're Sidney Rayner, and I believe you are, it belongs to the credit company.
No. No, it belongs to this boy right here. Meet the vice president in charge of sales for Missy's.
Abby!
Just a minute.
You knew the minute that you sent that telegram to your lawyer that I'd come running, didn't you?
I do want a divorce.
Well, why now? You haven't for 8 years.
I'm too old to play games anymore.
Who's the guy?
You know, I said to myself, when he gets the papers, the first thing he's going to think is, who's the guy? There isn't any guy.
Well, if there isn't any guy, what else is there?
My job. It's important.
Abby! Abby, please, I got 10 calls.
I'll be right there. You see?
I see you.
Sid, I have things to do now that are really important.
More important than us. Come on, Ab. After 8 years. I know you better than that.
That does it. I'll get together a bunch of students and start first thing in the morning. Good night, all.
Good night, Oates. Thanks for coming. Oh, come on, Zach. It isn't the end of the world. We're only gathering information. We don't know there isn't a cure yet. And if there isn't, well, you'll get a new start. I'll help you, I promise.
56, a new start? Being what? Delivering groceries down at Sloan's supermarket? I used to think that being a farmer was the best thing a man could be. I was going to send my kids to college. They could be proud and walk down the street, look any man in the eye.
Zach, when I first met you, I told you I didn't know what I could do to help you, but I gave you my word.
But you ain't called a tune around here. It's guys like Sloan and them others at the co-op. Well, they've got theirs, and they're not about to let me get mine. There's a big deal, Owen. The corporation's going to make a pot of money. So one guy gets in the way. Wipe him out, burn his trees. Burn the old man and the kids if you have to. Well, they're not about to take anything from me. I'm not letting nobody destroy my trees. Nobody. No, sir. You can't make me commit suicide. from us.
Any ideas? What you doing here?
I hitched a ride. I couldn't just sit still and do nothing. Last night you said I might be a nematode. Well, what do you usually do when you've got this nematode?
You have to bulldoze and burn almost the whole orchard, Hank. And at least 4 rows of trees all around the blighted area. Unless there's another way. And there's got to be another way. We'll find something. There's new things come up all the time. Listen, don't tell your dad any of what I just said yet, will you?
I won't worry, Dad. I'll just tell him that you'll figure a way out, like always.
Well, how about that? It worked. You know the last time I whistled like that? I was on a ship in the Pacific, and I saw the enemy fleet steaming right at us. And I whistled. And you know what happened? They kept right on coming. Now, has anybody got a problem that can't wait? Because I do have a problem that won't wait. I'll see you tomorrow, all right? I'll see you tomorrow.
Well, I don't know what you heard, Mr. Winslow, but... Well, I'm sure Cal has everything under control. Well, I know what Mr. Sloan told you, but... Well, I'll make sure that he does. Yeah, goodbye.
What's all that about Winslow?
Well, he heard about the blight at Laird's.
Well, where is Abby? She was going to head off all these people. I asked you where Abby was.
Oh, well, she ran in for a moment after you left. Yesterday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Then a fellow drove up in a white convertible Charger. He kissed Abby. They walked over to the park.
Hold it. He kissed her?
Mm-hmm. This may come as a surprise, Cal, but some people do that all the time.
Now, please, don't start up with me today, I specifically told her she didn't call Jose, Simeon, Jeff.
She didn't call anybody. Well, not from here, anyway.
But I told... Kissed her? Who? What fella? Get your book.
I've got my book.
All right, call Washington. Call the experimental station in Beltsville. Call the Department of Plant Pathology in Florida. Find out everything you can about Rodolphus similis. Send the following wire to the pathology department. Universities of Florida, Arizona, Texas, and California.
All right.
Need all available data on the latest methods of controlling spreading decline of citrus.
Okay.
That's all. Oh, listen, call Kenny Thompson, the radio station. Tell him I may want to put that broadcast one day ahead.
All right.
And find Abby.
Yes, sir.
Cal! I want to talk to you.
You haven't seen Abby, have you?
I talked to old Sorensen. The worst, most virulent citrus disease in the world in the grove next to mine. A grove you talked me into leasing to that Okie.
Zach is from Texas, and I didn't talk you into anything. You needed a tenant, you needed one fast, and Zach was available.
There is one way of stopping this thing fast. Bulldozing those trees out of there and burning them. Tomorrow morning, my bulldozers will be at Zach Laird's place.
You seem to be quite positive about something we're all trying to find out.
By the time you find out, this thing could be all over the county.
Eric, we're not talking about just whether we do or don't burn down a few trees.
Well, then what are we talking about?
We're talking about the fate of a man. The fate of his whole family. About our obligation to each other.
All right, now you listen to me, Calhoun. Tomorrow morning, I am going to be bulldozing. Whether you like it or not, and don't you try to stop me. Or you won't be able to get a job cleaning out a cow barn.
Where is Abby? She promised me to keep Eric out of here.
Abby just called. She's still with that fella.
What fella?
The white convertible.
And that's the way it's been for 3 years. I love the country, especially the people. I don't believe there are half a dozen people in the county I haven't met.
You work a lot with young people, huh?
Mostly. That's the best part. I get them before they're old enough to get stupid, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I know what you mean. Abby, if you promise not to laugh, I'd like to ask you a question that I should know the answer to. It's been bugging me all day, ever since I saw the sign in your office. What are the 4 H's, anyway?
Oh, I guess a city boy like you can be forgiven for not knowing. It stands for head, heart, health, and hands.
Well, seems fair enough. Certainly not dirty. Abby, listen to me.
No. No, I listened before. For too long.
I love you, Abby. I never stop.
You laughed.
Excuse me.
Oh, Cal, this is Sidney Rayner, my husband.
How are you?
And this is...
Everett Calhoun. Yes, I know. Abby's told me all about you. Would you have a drink?
No, thanks.
What did you find out at the lab?
Well, it could be worse, but I doubt it.
Any chance of saving the crop?
I don't know yet.
Well, is there any chance of helping Zach?
Oh, Zach.
Oh, Zach Laird, about a year and a half ago, practically Cal's first week on this job. Anyhow, Zach came into our office, not a cent to his name. His farm had just blown away in a dust storm. A widow and 2 nice children.
Yeah, I should have let him move on. Thank you. But I always figured my real job was trying to help people in that kind of trouble. Anyway, Abby and I found this man a little piece of land. Now he's the tenant of a guy we know.
Oh, thank you. Excuse me. Gotta get something.
Eric came by the office, Abby. I thought you were going to head him off.
I'm sorry.
Winslow called, all riled up. So were several of the other
I said
officers.
I was sorry.
Abby, I have to go out to Laird's now, and I could sure use your help.
What if I weren't here?
What do you mean?
Cal, there comes a time. Well, I'm not 21 anymore. As a matter of fact, I'm afraid I'm not even 41. No matter how hard I work all day, there's always that moment when you have to go home to that empty, empty house, and you say to yourself, a woman alone, well, she's only half a woman. Doesn't matter what you do all day, Abby. At night, you're only half a woman. You see, I sent for him, Cal. I wanted him to come. And what I decide now, that's it. That's what I'll live with the rest of my life.
house. Welcome to the club. Abby. Would you like me to wait outside?
Cal, will you give me 5 minutes? If I'm not out in 5 minutes.
I'll be in the truck. And, whatever you decide.
You like him?
I liked them the first time.
You remember.
We had a lot together, Sid, for a long, long time. And then, well, the chimes were still playing, but I was alone most of the time. I used to lie awake listening to them, and I'd think, where is he? Who is he with? Are you as pretty as she is? What did you do wrong? And then there was the time you didn't come home at all.
Abby, I'm 50 years old.
Here, come on in here. Just make yourself comfortable.
Thanks.
You had your breakfast?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Can I get you some coffee?
No thanks, Nan, nothing.
Eric will be down in a few minutes. Cal.
I know, Nan. Eric is a good husband, and he's done a lot for the county.
He is, and he has done a lot.
I know.
And I love him very much.
That makes him a very lucky man.
Look, I sympathize with Zach Laird, too. Well, what makes you think that you're righter than Eric?
It's what I believe.
Cal, Eric believes just as hard as you do. Survival of the fittest. I mean, he really believes that.
I don't think I understand a man like Eric anymore. Not when there are so many more important things to fight for in this world.
You know, you're very much alike underneath.
Would you excuse us, please, Nan?
Oh. Eric, I don't interfere. I mean, well, not usually, but...
Please leave us alone, will you, Nan? Just talked to Simeon on the telephone. He's with a few of the board members. And they want those trees burned. They're going out to Laird's place this morning. And I will be with them. And you are going to make Laird let them do what they want to do right now.
Eric, I don't just work for that co-op. I work for the State University,
the
Department
County Commission, and the Department of Agriculture, yeah. But not like just any farm advisor, you don't, Cal. Not you. You were raised here. This county is named after your grandfather. That's why I fought against your being assigned here. Now, 150 farmers from your county are going to fight you, are going to charge you with gross negligence. And they're going to prove it, Cal. Why can't you look at the world as it is? It is rough. And any man who keeps giving and giving and giving and not wanting something in return, that man wants to be destroyed. You just can't seem to get that through your head.
No, I guess I can't get that through my head. I don't guess my grandfather could get that through his head either. Maybe that's why, although your grandfather owned most of this county, it was named after my grandfather. Eric, I care about this place and the people.
Well, what do you think I've been talking about? So do I. And you're going to let one man, one little man, jeopardize all of that. And your job.
Yes. Until I get the very last word that there is no way to arrest that spreading decline. Even if there's only one chance in a million. Because maybe just one little man is what this is all about. Good morning. I'm going to start out this morning by saying a few words about the citrus blight out at Zach Laird's groves. The blight is called the burrowing nematode. We know how to stop it at Zach Laird's, and we're going to. Now, you may be wondering, how did it get to Calhoun County? Somebody deliberately bring it in? I doubt that. The important thing is that there's no cause for alarm. No one is to go near Zach's. I repeat, no one is to go near Zach Laird's. Now, there are a number of host plants that can carry this nematode. I'm going to read them carefully. And if any...
Love with the sound of one's own voice, Department.
Following plants in your possession...
That's all he's ever done since he got this job is talk.
Eric, I don't know who you're maddest at. Cal, Zach Laird, or the nematode?
You hit all the bases, darling. The only way to solve this problem is to get rid of all three of them.
Opinion?
No, it is not opinion, it's fact, Nan. There are several $1 million at stake right now, and the welfare of every family in the valley.
Except one.
Sounds just like your bleeding heart friend, Calhoun. Instead of doing something constructive, he's yakking his head off about the blight. This is all we need right now is a press agent for disease. I cannot tell you how much this is going to help us get that frozen juice plant built.
Look, you talk about constructive. You mean by cutting down all of Zach Laird's trees, that is constructive?
Yes, and don't start telling me about Zach Laird's rights, because he doesn't have any, not now. I'm not talking just for myself. Now, you know that there are maybe 500 or 600 people that this directly affects, including our own unborn child. Now, no one man has the right to stand in the way of that kind of progress.
Honey, we're not talking about one man. Now, Zach Laird has 2 children, and they probably will have children.
All right, I'm sorry for them. This isn't personal. Honey, if you'll think calmly about everything I've said, you'll realize it makes sense. If there is a rotten orange in a crate, you get rid of it. If there's a whole diseased grove, you get rid of it. You have to. No matter who it hurts, if you want your society to survive.
I listen carefully to everything you say, and I think you are absolutely right. Every point you make is perfectly sound.
But what?
But there's just one thing wrong. It is not humane.
County agent's office. Not 7 o'clock.
Felicia, this is my husband, Sid Rayner. Is Cal back?
Any more answers to my wire? Huh?
Oh, yeah, but the lines are always busy.
Well, you better call the county switchboard. Get her to screen every call. If it's about root cuttings, just have her get their name and number. But I don't want to talk to anybody except the people we're waiting to hear from. What'd you do to your finger?
Broke a nail.
Told you to cut those nails. Hey, can I help? Oh, thank you. Well, you might want to help Felicia make a record of all these cuttings here. Sure.
Thank you.
Dr. Chester Gibbs, Department of Agriculture, Washington, D.C. Chemical X ineffectual, chemical Y ineffectual, chemical Z ineffectual, only known method of control, bulldoze and burn. Rodolphus similis appears in Central Florida only. Dr. H.C. Hortense, Department of Agriculture, Experimental Farms, Beltsville, Maryland, same thing. Same thing from Dr. Mullen in Fort Lauderdale.
Well, I guess that's it.
How will you hold off the mob out there?
Oh, that's easy. I told them to be calm and they panicked, so now I'll tell them to panic. Well, guess I'd better get out to Laird's and tell them.
Cal, I'd like to go with you if you need me.
I sure could use you, Abby.
It was nice of Sid to pitch in and help.
He's a nice fellow.
He's going to ask me to give up my job and go away with him.
He's a terrible fellow. Why'd you ever leave him?
I didn't. He left me. But that's not the question. What do I do now? It's awful cold and lonesome at night.
Abby, I only know what's best for me. Sure, it gets lonesome. Better somebody than nobody. Better anybody than nobody? Not for me. So, I'm alone.
Alone? What night was that? There's Felicia. She'd crawl on her hands and knees over broken glass for you. And there's that Betsy Beat at the art colony. And what's her name? That psychologist at the university. Oh, for heaven's sake, alone. You men, you spend one night a week by yourself and you call that alone.
You don't need me to help you make up your mind.
No, but you make a good listener. Thanks.
Lloyd, where you going?
Out to St. Clair. There's a mob out there, madder than hell.
Wait a minute.
You get down the house and take care of Ruthie, and stay there.
Why these trees have to be burned, Laird? They're going to be now.
What's going on here? Looks like you all of a sudden decided to call an outdoor meeting of the cooperative. Have you counted heads to see if there's a quorum? Who called this meeting? Mr. Sloan here? Zach, you don't want to hurt anybody. Now, come on. Give me that gun here.
Stand back, Lloyd. I mean it now.
Lloyd, just a minute, huh? Huh? All right, everybody, enough now, huh?
Enough of what, Cal? Look, we're in trouble. These men know what's at stake. They know the only way to get rid of this blight is to burn those trees. You think I'm enjoying this? When this grove burns, that's money out of my pocket. Our own county agent is endangering the future of all of us for the sake of a leaseholder who could ruin it.
Calhoun, come back!
Wait a minute. Wait a minute! Wait a minute! What's happening to you people today? I don't even know any of you right now, and I grew up with most of you. Charlie, Pete, Simeon, Jeff.
Okay, Cal, so we grew up together, but we take care of our own. Laird here's a stranger. How do we know he didn't bring this blight with him? I gotta protect my own grove.
He's been here over a year, and this blight could have started 6 months ago. And I'm getting damn sick and tired of hearing about how this man is a stranger. Right now, the point is, what are you going to do about a man that's new around here? Is he going to get different treatment than Simeon or Mr. Sloan here? Huh? Simeon, when your herd was diseased, everybody was pretty scared, right? Could have swept all the cattle in the county, right? But nobody panicked, nobody moved in on you, no big mob came in and destroyed all your cattle, did they? You did it yourself.
Yeah, I shot every last one of them.
That's the point. You made your own choice, and you did it because you knew you had to. Jose, did a mob come in and ruin your cotton crop when it got boll weevil? You know they didn't. God knows the farmer hasn't been given much. But he has been given the right to choose his own way. A man who works as hard as you men do, from dawn until sunset, at the mercy of drought, flood, of every virulent bug and disease and new ones all the time, hasn't even been given the right of survival. But you do have the right to live this life in dignity. Dignity! And that's what this man wants. It's what I want, it's what you want, and it's what this man wants. Dignity. And if we don't do anything else, we at least owe each other the preservation of that. Dignity. Now you turn all those bulldozers around and just get out of here. Because Zach Laird isn't going to move, and neither am I. You want to bulldoze these trees, you go ahead. But you're going to have to do it over the two of us.
All right, Cal. It's up to you.
I think it's up to Zach. They're his trees. What do you say, Mr. Laird?
What if we just stayed here?
You mean you want me to settle down here?
Well, you could get a job.
Well, I don't think I'd like it. You know me, Ab. I'm kind of a big city boy.
But you could try.
It's funny. You always used to say that to me whenever you had big plans.
You know, Sid, when you first left me, I sort of went blank for a while. And then I started moving around. I stopped at a lot of places, knew a lot of people. And when I got here, I looked around and I said to myself, if I can't make it here, I can't make it any place. And since then, well, here I am and here I'm going to stay. It's a full-time job. Sid, I do love you. I always did. I'm sorry I made you come here.
Don't be. So long, Ab.
Morning, Mr. Laird.
Zach? You're gonna have to plant a cover crop in here real fast.
I got no money for seed. Or nothing.
I know. But you do have neighbors.
What'd he say?
He'll accept help, but not charity.
A day's work calls for a day's pay.
He's gonna make it. Zach's gonna be all right.